So I want to thank you all for being here. My name is Laureen Chu. I was a student here during the strike. I did, I got involved, very involved in it, and was a faculty here for too long. But anyway, I've since retired, and it's been giving me great pleasure to bring all of us back, the strikers here today, for our 50th anniversary. And I thank you all for hearing us. Please have questions ready at the end, and please be quick about asking your questions. I would love to hear your life story before the question, but if you can be quick to the questions, then we can get more questions in. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to our moderator of this panel, who was one of the leaders of the Black Student Union, Mr. Benny Stewart. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm impressed. I started out this morning, and I see students go kind of in and out, but it makes me feel good that we're at least about 80% still here. So that's great. And we're gonna go through this. And as I roll into it, you guys, just relax, and if you have questions, we're here to answer them to the best of our ability. All right? And I'm first going to address on the 68th strike what caused it and why we went into it. And let me just say, one thing I want you to remember, keep in mind, is that we as students, we were just ordinary students, just like you, ordinary students. But situations and pressure develop us into being smart. It develops us into being courageous. And it develops us into being determined. And that spirit that we had went into the masses of people that followed us. And that's why this was the longest student-faculty strike in American history. Imagine that. Nobody has ever fought to that extent. But we started with very humbling situations. In short, the strike started because 2 years of negotiation was a failure. Jimmy, we went and got Dr. Nathan Hare from the East Coast, brought him in. But after 2 years, that whole 2 years of negotiation yielded 2.5 positions. That's not ethnic studies. That's just black studies. 2.5 positions. And the trustees told us, take it or lump it. They may not have said lump it, but that's what they meant. And so the BSU Central Committee, which had just organized in the spring of 1968, 12 guys organizing, had this task for them to do. And so the word strike came out. We had some young guys. One of them, Leroy Goodwin, I think he said, we're going to strike, and we want, since they were so funky about it, we're going to have our demands, and none of them is negotiated. We want all of them. That's the word I heard from him. I'm sort of like being the chairman, having an engineering attitude. All right, if we shut the campus down, close it up, how is that going to happen? How are we going to do that? And so we begin to organize and talk among ourselves, and we begin to go out and talk to our neighborhood supports that we had given services to and told them what we're going to try to do. We call it a strike. But in order to do that, what I want you to realize today is that There was a Third World Liberation Front, but the BSU started out only dependent upon themselves because we had no allies. The Third World Liberation Front was young, and it was maturing, and it had fought a battle of sit-ins the semester before. SDS had done that. So when we started out, it was just the BSU. That's it. So when you come down to shutting down a campus, how does that happen? How can you do that? And so the Central Committee got together and they had to do a paradigm mind switch. No more taking over administration buildings. They've done that the semester before, and that's what college students usually do. That wasn't going to work. That was going to involve with a good ass whooping, as part of the expression. But it was not going to get the job done, and we had to get that job done. Somebody somewhere stole a book written by Robert Tappan. It was called The War of the Fleet. And I got a hold of that book and I got fascinated behind the struggle between a flea and a dog. I had seen that all my life when I was a kid down in LA in the summer. But I didn't pay attention until it got my attention. That as long as the flea did not confront the dog head on and kept moving, the dog couldn't deal with him. And so we was able to transform that strategy, which was a protracted strategy, because the flea does a consistent struggle to something that's more powerful and stronger than it. And then the light bulbs begin to go on. That's how we'll do it. We're not taking over a building. We're going to struggle, but we must make it a continuous struggle. Every day coming back, every day. And that strategy was formed because the group of black students were small. They were small. So we had to make it happen. So as we began to organize it, we came up with the demands to move forward. The first day, November the 6th, over in the main auditorium with the television school, we pulled together about 200 people, community folks, students, and members of the Black Panther Party that was specifically from Marin City. In about an hour and a half, we shut the campus down. We went into classrooms, politicized, and told them to close it down. By the time the administration heard this and called the police, the campus was closed and we was gone and there was no arrest. Just like that. But we sent out a message. We sent out a message. We meant business. And that was the origin of a phenomenal rise of strike. Now the rest of the panel is going to deal with the support and the maintenance of the strike. That brought community people. That brought raising bail money to get people out of jail. Then the back end is going to be the settlement of the strike. And then the last part, Thomasita and I, we're going to address the post-litigation of the strike. All right? So maybe I made it under a minute. Did I, George?